Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the According to GenY series. Today we will be discussing solo travel 101 according to the GenY professional woman. So I'm going to give everyone a couple seconds to come on in and check out the scope today. So, I'm really looking forward to discussing this topic because I'm a travel junkie and I am just so thrilled to be talking about this topic today. So, what I wanted to do, I wanted to do something different today and just show a screenshot. First, to promote my website. Second, I have a ton of really great information and I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So I took a lot of notes, and so I definitely wanted to make sure I captured all of these travel tips and hacks for you guys to share as well. So I would love to know if anyone is on the scope, where you're from. As always, tap the screen during the scope if you want to show some love and you enjoy what I'm saying. And also feel free, if your tribe may enjoy this information, swipe right to share on Twitter and Facebook as well. So let's get started. Again, my name is Portia Johnson. I'm the founder and creator of AccordingtoGenY, a digital platform that encourages all Gen Y professional women to not just survive, but to thrive in all areas of career, health, and travel. Again, as a travel junkie, I'm so excited to take a deep dive into this topic today. Last year alone, I went on 5 trips, so I'm really excited to kind of give you guys a little insight into how I did it. And I also think it's really cool that our generation is unique and that we find a lot of internal happiness in investing in experiences over things, which I find to be pretty awesome as a millennial, that's something that we find so important. So we're going to dive into why you should travel solo as a young professional woman. Number one reason I find is to be re-inspired. If you're a creative or you're an entrepreneur, you can get caught up in the daily routine that consumes you, and that can also hinder your creative process. It's always good to take a step back and look at life through a renewed and refreshed lens. Just taking a step back and being still will allow you to enjoy those sweet moments of silence, and you never know, that can be what inspires you to create more. Second reason to travel solo would be to build confidence. When you go on a solo trip, there's no one depending on you but you. So the beauty of that is it allows you to become more self-assured in your own decision-making capabilities, and it also allows you to come back to the office with your head held high, and you have an extra pep in your step because you have the confidence to handle any situations or challenges that may come up in the workplace. And the third reason to travel solo is to become more fearless. Traveling solo in itself is an adventure. Think of fearlessness as a muscle. If you never step outside of your comfort zone, you'll never be able to flex that muscle and be strong enough to pivot and challenge yourself in your career. Traveling solo allows you to have the grit, tenacity, and fearlessness to really lean in and ask for that promotion, ask for that raise you've been wanting at work. It really allows you to take on any challenges with that confidence and fearlessness because you've taken on the challenge of traveling solo. So I just want to recap the 3 reasons why you should travel solo would be to be re-inspired, to build confidence, and to become more fearless. So now we're going to transition into some tips and tricks as a solo traveler that I've personally used to make traveling solo less daunting. It's really not as scary as people make it out to seem or to be. It's really quite exciting and it can be very relaxing as well. So the number one tip that I can say that has helped me in journeying towards group travel, towards solo travel, has been to, number one, pick somewhere relatively close, maybe even somewhere you've traveled before on a group trip. For me, that destination is my second home. I love this place. I love the energy. It's Miami. I booked my first flight there. Actually, I booked my first semi-solo trip a day or two before my friend was supposed to join me. And so that allowed me the opportunity to, enjoy the hotel happy hour. I got to meet an excellent group of people from Houston and DC. We connected, we went to the beach later. So it was an awesome way to get acclimated to being by myself in a new place, but also feeling comfortable that my friend would be arriving the next day or so. So I would definitely say to pick somewhere relatively close, somewhere that is somewhat familiar to you, and to maybe start out to ease your way into it, book your flight a day before your group will get there, and I think you'll feel more comfortable easing into it that way. Second tip would be to start out with a long weekend trip. Before you advance into week-long stays or even international trips alone, start out on a long weekend trip. Preferably, I think road trips are really great for beginner solo travelers because you still have a certain element of control because you'll have your own transportation. Once you feel as if you have mastered a road trip on your own, then you can branch into going somewhere where you may have to fly, you may not necessarily have transportation for a long weekend, but at least you'll have a certain comfort level in doing that. The third tip is to bring an item that holds a familiar memory for you so it doesn't feel like you're so alone in a new place. I personally always love to travel with a small blanket from home. It serves a dual purpose. It keeps me warm on the flight, and it also reminds me of home as well. So it can be something small that you just kind of keep with you as a familiar memory of home when you are traveling alone, especially if it's somewhere that may be quite far. And this is the fourth tip. Call ahead and let your hotel know you'll be traveling solo. Work with the concierge to plan out the most safe and enjoyable dining and entertainment experience. I know personally when I go to Miami, I stay within the same hotel group, if not the same hotel. And it's really awesome because I pick places that have plenty of accommodations and activities that I know I'll be safe and I'll be occupied during my stay. My last trip to Miami, I picked a wonderful hotel that had free live music, free happy hours. They had yoga Saturday mornings, free cabanas for the beach across the street. So it put my mind at ease, and I never felt as if I was missing out on something as well. And so just to recap, these tips are for how to not feel as if solo travel is so daunting. Pick somewhere relatively close. Start out with a long weekend trip. Bring an item that holds a familiar memory, and call ahead and speak to your hotel and try to plan out the perfect experience that suits you. So again, I hope this scope opens your mind to just how amazing solo travel can be. It's definitely allowed me to shoot for higher in all aspects of my life. There's a big world out there just waiting to be explored, and if I hadn't abruptly lost my job this past year, I would have been embarking on my first international solo trip, which would have been to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So I know my passion and drive for travel will keep me moving forward on my job search process, and I hope for all of my fellow travel junkies out there that it also pushes you to move forward, whether you're unemployed or underemployed or looking for a transition in your career. Make sure that you can leverage, if travel is something that's really important to you, make sure you can leverage that in your interview and hiring process as well. So if you like the scope, definitely share on Facebook or Twitter. Swipe right to do that. I will also have this replay on my site, PortiaJohnson.com. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the second episode. And I also want to let you know to check out my site, PortiaJohnson.com, to sign up for my email list. I have an awesome free one-on-one guide for you that will allow you to have a more strategic relationship with your manager as well. So I want you to always stay woke, be blessed, love life. XOXO, according to GenY. Peace.